Hello students, hope you are all doing well. Right, let me ask you a question. What is the most important thing in your life? Is it your parents, money, friends, relatives, still anything else? There is one more thing that is most important to our life is time. Time plays an important role in our life, how you and me or how we utilize it. Because the great people who have achieved success have utilized their time in right way. We all know that the time what has been completed cannot get back. That is, once lost, it is lost. That is what a proverb says, time and tide wait for none. So it's your time where you are going to have your exams very shortly. So utilize the time whatever has been there for all of us, right? And besides, we all know that these great people, that is winners they don't do different things, just they do things in a different way. That is what we need to follow, right? And every one of us, whatever the time we are spending right now is really very hardship. We have to overcome through it. We have to overcome, right? So you and we, that is whatever the videos what we are making for you have to be utilized from your side, because you might be feeling that I know this thing, I know that thing, but every video makes you and gives you something new, right? These videos really help you to recharge yourself, to replenish yourself, and to recreate some kind of new knowledge to your minds. So children, without wasting your time, right, we'll enter into the lesson. Yes children, now we'll be discussing the last section, that is section C, creative writing. Here the examiner is going to give us 3 discourses. Out of 3, 2 will be major discourses. Here we have got the choice and you need to attempt only one, and the next one is the minor discourse where it will be awarded with 5 marks, right? And before going to discuss about the discourses, we will come to know what is a discourse, right? Discourse is nothing but whatever you speak or write which will help you to improve your skills is nothing but called as a discourse. Here, when it comes to a point of a lesson, that is question and answers as well as grammar, you can by heart it. Like question and answers can be by heart. When it comes to a point of grammar, with the help of rules and regulations, by hearting them, you can make the things, but not this creative writing. It's purely how you yourself think and put it on the paper, right? And the creative discourses, what we are going to discuss in this paper 1, are purely from your textbook. So, when unless or until you have a thorough understanding towards the lesson, then only you have the ability to attempt the discourses. And literally to say, this is a very easy section where you can score at least 14 marks. Very easily you can score 14 marks. If you are going to write in right manner, in a right way, with a very good presentation, for sure you can score 13.5 marks to 14 marks. Right children? Shall we go into the discourses? Right. Altogether we have got 6 major discourses and 3 minor discourses. The 6 major discourses include story or narrative, conversation, description, drama, script, play, interview, choreography, script. And coming to the minor discourses, we have got message, notice as well as diary. Now one by one we will be discussing now, and we will be going through the major discourse first. Right children, now we will be discussing the very first discourse, that is the story writing or narrative. In story writing as well as narrative, the first and foremost important thing what you need to follow is the construction of sentences has to be accurate, especially over here, and sequence of events as well as dialogues. And whenever you want to start a story, the sequence of events should be step by step. ఒకటి రాసాక ఇంకోటి అంటే అన్ని ఒకటేసారి కలిపి రాయకుండా స్టెప్ బై స్టెప్ రాసుకుంటే వెళ్ళాలన్నమాట. Right? And at the same time, whatever the dialogues we are going to choose them, they should be related to the context, related to the story. They should not be deviated. Right? And at the same time, simultaneously we are discussing narration as well. Right? When it comes to a point of a story, whenever you write a story, it should have a introduction as well as conclusion. But when it comes to the point of narration, there is no need of conclusion. Right? It doesn't matter. There is no need of writing a conclusion to the narration, right? And visually, when you write to the story, it has got huge amount of emotions. Whenever you are writing a story, you can add emotions, right? When it comes to the point of narration, may or may not, that doesn't include any emotions. And what I told, the next one is the chronological order, that is nothing but sequence of orders, sequence of order. And here you need to write at least 4 paragraphs in order to get good marks. And each paragraph should be not less than 6 lines. It should be around 6 to 8 lines, right? And you can add characters in case of story. It's up to you, right? And cohesive devices like conjunctions, adverbs can be added, which will make the sentences very clear and will add weight to the sentences as well. And for example, if you take one act play, that is D.Ed departed. In that you can start a story like once upon a time there lived a grandfather, right, named Abel Merriweather, where his granddaughter, right, you can start like this, right? At the same time he has got 2 daughters, right, Amelia Slater, right, and Elizabeth Jordan. So ఈ ప్యాటర్న్ లో మీ స్టోరీ స్టార్ట్ చేసుకొని కంక్లూజన్ లోకి వెళ్ళిపోయేసరికి లైక్ హౌ ద ఫాదర్ డాటర్స్ చీటెడ్ దేర్ ఫాదర్ ఆర్ ఎల్స్ హౌ దే వాంట్ టు గెట్ బ్యాక్ ద ప్రాపర్టీ, రైట్, as soon as they thought that their father is dead, right? But how the old man has given a lesson to the daughters. This is what you need to write down, especially when you write a story. Okay children, so I hope you have understood how to write a story. And if you go back to the concept where we have discussed how to write a story in your book, just go through it once again. You will come to know the important points over there as well. Right, the very second discourse now we are going to discuss is about conversation. A conversation is nothing but a method of self impression and interaction, nothing but a discussion whatever is happening between 2 persons or 2 children or 3. A conversation might involve 2 people or 3 people, right? And whenever you write a conversation in the public examination, make sure that don't write not more than 10 to 12 exchanges. For example, we have got A and B, that is A should have some 12 exchanges as well as B should have 12 exchanges, right? And make sure that the exchanges whatever you are going to make should be related to the context. Whatever the question has been asked to you, you have to make sure that the answer should be related to the context, that is to the question. And make sure that whenever you write the very first 2 exchanges, it should be done general, that should be included with social norms, like you can wish, hello, how are you, what are you doing, up to there, enough. And don't give the same answers. Yes, I am reading, you are also reading. Don't go to such kind of answers. Just go with 1 or 2 exchanges in a general way, and immediately to the 3rd exchange, that is you have to enter into the main content till to the 9th or 10th exchange. And as soon as you come back to the 11th and 12th, make sure that you complete conversation with a very good conclusion, right? And even it's better you write a 2 to 3 lines of introduction to the conversation as well, right? And besides, you have to make the proper sequence of exchanges. Once you start the conversation, the question what he has asked should be the answer, that is the related answer should be present in the exchanges. And the same, all the time we need to use proper cohesive devices, right? And using short responses as well as tags, like usually you will be using you can use such kind of responses in your conversation. For example, if you take Nick Vujicic, right? In the very first lesson, Nick Vujicic has gone to school and he came back to home by crying. Here the characters will be Nick Vujicic, his father, as well as Nick mother. The very first conversation, like you can have an introduction that Nick Vujicic has come back to home and he was crying continuously for a long period of time. The very first question, that is the mother, right? The very first mother, Nick, my son, why are you crying? What is the reason? Right? The answer from the Nick will not be there. Or he keeps on crying, he won't give any answer. Immediately his father enters into the space, that is screen space, right? Into the conversation. And he himself will pose a question, one more question to the Nick. Can I know the reason? If you say the reason, I can find out a solution for that. So in such a manner, it's very important for us to start the conversation, right? And when it comes to the point of conclusion, right, there the conversation might be like every student or every friend of mine is going, every student in the class is bullying me, they are teasing me as I am handicapped, that is a torso, as I don't have hands and legs, and it is impossible for me to go out to school. Then my mother says that you don't worry, beta, that is you don't worry, my child, you will be I will be giving you a special device that will allow you to read and write. And at the same time, Nick father says that you don't worry, my child. I will be allowing you to have a electrical wheelchair that will make you to go to school without anybody's help. So in such a pattern, the conversation can be continued, and finally Nick feels comfortable and say thanks to their parents. Right? This is what you need to start and conclude the conversation. Right? Right. Now we will be discussing the third discourse, that is description. Right? Here, whenever you write, that is, whenever you are about to write a description, you have to describe about the object or things or persons, right? Including their emotions, right? And at the same time, whenever you are going to write a description, you have to use variety of sentences, right? And the sentences what you are using, framing of sentences should also be in a chronological order. And next, the ideas, framing the variety of sentences as well as making those sentences with proper ideas is also very important in making the description. And at the same time, the person, whoever is describing about himself or he is describing about something, it has to be included with reflections, right? It might be a positive or it might be a negative or it might be a painful or it might be a sorrowful or happiness, whatever it is. Those kind of personal reflections should be there in the description, right? And last but not least, in each and every discourse, you have to use the appropriate cohesive discourse, right? For example, if you take any one discourse regarding the description, right? You can take the lesson from the Dear Departed one act play. Right here, the two daughters, Amelia Slater as well as Elizabeth Jordan, how they want to share the wealth as soon as they thought that their father is dead. But when Abel Merriweather comes to know that their daughters are not willing to share the responsibilities, are familiar and are more interested, much interested towards sharing the property. In such a way, the examiner might be asking you, imagine yourself as Abel Merriweather and write a description of the story or events, what all happened in the lesson. Right? Then you yourself can imagine, I myself, Abel Merriweather, who had two daughters named so and so. Thereafter, and one fine day, as I had a bit of headache, I had a long sleep, but in the meanwhile, my daughters realized that they felt that I am dead, and they started sharing the wealth. But when I come to know that the daughters have planned to share my wealth, it really deeply hurt me. In this pattern, you can make the description, and finally, with the conclusion, you can write how Abel Merriweather has decided to marry John Serrats, the restaurant owner of Ring O Bells, that is Ring O Bells restaurant. So here you have started with a description with what he has, that is what is his family, and finally concluded the same description what he is going to do the next. In the meanwhile, he has described his emotions, how his daughters have treated him, and at the same time he himself says to the daughters that when your mother is dead, that is his wife, I haven't got married to anyone else. I took a lot of care to both of you, and at the same time I lived some of my life with Elizabeth and some of my life with Amelia. This is what he has expressed all his feelings, right? That expression of feelings, what we have discussed till now, has to be kept with proper sequence as well as using variety of sentences, right? This will make the description very well, and at the same time make sure that you write the description not less than 1.5 page, right? Not less than 250 words. That will fetch you very good marks whenever you write this description. Okay? Yes, now we will be discussing the fourth discourse, that is interview. This interview plays an important role for your SSC examination. That is, there are more chances of asking the interview in the examination, and you need to follow certain rules and regulations in order to score good marks. The very first, whenever you are going to write an interview, you are supposed to write the introduction, right? What is the purpose? Whom you are meeting? What is the importance of that great person? Is it Nicosis or Wangari Maathai? Whomever you meet, Abdul Kalam, like no more, doesn't matter. But still, the person, whoever have been asked, you need to write about that particular person some 3 to 4 lines. That involves the introduction, right? And besides that, you should follow the social norms. That is, you need to wish them. Good morning, sir. Right? Good evening, sir. How are you? Just 2 or 3 lines, not more than that. Immediately, as soon as you complete the social norms, without wasting time, you need to enter into the concept, right? And this interview mainly includes the question and answers. That is, the questions whatever you are going to ask to the interviewer will be very important, right? Before you go to the interviewer, right? I mean, like before you are going to meet that particular person, you yourself has to draft some questions which are related to that particular person, and besides that, you have to be make the dialogue interviewer with the conversation, whatever it is going to be between those two persons, should be very concise, and it should have a very good flow without any any disturbance. And next, the questions what you are going to be drafted should be based upon his responsibilities as well as his experiences. That will make the interviewer to give very good response, right? And whenever you are asking such kind of questions, make sure that you don't deviate from the topic, right? And the questions whatever you have been drafted, they should be a bit of conflict, but at the same time, the person whoever is going to give the answers should be in a comfortable position to give the answers, right? And this interview, whenever you are closing it, the conclusion is mandatory. For example, Nick Vujicic. If you take the interview of Nick Vujicic, that is, if Nick Vujicic visits your school and you are a news reporter of a famous or leading newspaper, and whenever you come across Nick Vujicic, you can ask him, or you can start your conversation like interview, like good morning, sir, and how are you? The very next question, right? And you be a motivational speaker right now. How do you feel? No, and what was your environment when you are young? So you can ask different kinds of questions that makes him comfortable, and at the same time, the answers whatever the person is giving, it should even have a bit of like a message oriented, right? So these are the rules and regulations to be followed when you write the interview. Right, now we will be entering into the next discourse, that is fifth discourse, drama as well as skit. Whenever you go to, whenever you write this discourse, drama and skit, it's mandatory to write the introduction here as well, right? And especially whenever you write this drama, it will be a fictitious, alright? And initially I will try to make clear what is a drama and what is a skit, right? Overall you have to write in the same pattern, but let me clear what is the difference between a drama and a skit, right? And this drama is purely a fictitious one, whereas the skit is purely related to the real life. And in case of drama, we need locations. Sorry, we don't need any locations or settings. Whereas this skit includes locations as well as settings. That is, whenever you want to describe the lesson, you have to mention the locations as well as settings. That is the background of the concept what you are describing. And next, the scenes might be, drama will be having 1 to 4. Right, when it comes to the point of play, you can have 1 to 2 scenes, not more than that. And it has got different kinds of things like comedy, tragedy. Based upon the drama what you want to perform on the dice, it depends. Whatever the concept you want to perform, you can do it. Right? And next, when it comes to the point of skit, you can have only 2 characters, 2 scenes as well as 2 to 3 characters, not more than that. When it comes to the point of drama, besides having unlimited characters, you can have music as well as dance, combined with music and dance, right? And the characters, whatever have been mentioned here, should be unlimited. There is no restriction of having the characters. And make sure that the dialogues, whatever you are following for the skit or drama, they should be relevant. And especially if you take the play of Never Never Nest, right? That Never Never Nest, a couple named Jack and Jill, how they have faced the problems without thinking the future. They got all the things by installments and faced many problems. Right? This is what a play describes. Initially, it creates a kind of humor, but later on, the emotions, how the wife and husband faced the problems because of EMIs. So that has been discussed. And if you observe that play completely, that has been taken in single scene, and they haven't got any deviation. And every dialogue and every line of the lesson is within the concept, within the things. So this is what you need to follow the rules and regulations when you describe, when you write the discourse, drama and skit. Now we will be discussing the last discourse, that is the choreography. Right? Choreography is nothing but art of designing of sequences. That is, in the examination, he will be giving you a poem from Abandon, Another Woman, Once Upon a Time, or The Dreamer Will Wake. So these you have to apply the choreography over those poems. Whenever you need to make a choreography, you are supposed to follow these rules and regulations. The very first one is title, right? And this title, whatever you are going to write, it should be in bold letters. First, let me discuss the rules, then I will explain with an example, followed by the name of the author. And you have to write down the characters completely involved in the choreography. You might take Once Upon a Time. The characters involved over there are grandfather and grandson, right? As well as some other people. You can mention it, right? You have to mention all the characters. Next, theme of the poem. It has to be written in 3 to 5 lines or 6 lines, right? That is complete theme. You have to write the complete theme of the poem. Thereafter, you need to write instances of the poem. This is very, very important, which plays an important role in getting you or fetching you full marks to the choreography. So you have to write instances of poem. That is, every poem will be having some 4 to 6 lines of stanza, right? That is, you have to describe only that particular stanza. So you have to put the subheading stanza 1, right? You have to put the subheading stanza 1. After following the stanza 1, you need to write down the theme. What exactly the paragraph involves. You have to write in one or two lines. You need not write to complete theme again here. You have to write just the meaning of that paragraph in one or two lines. Location, where that particular action or where that particular scene or sequence has taken. Right. Next, how many characters are involved in that particular consequence? I mean, like scene. Next, sequencing of actions has to be written. The same thing should be applied to stanza 2 as well as stanza 3 as well. Right? This is what the pattern you need to follow whenever you are going to write a choreography. Right? So, for example, you are going to take an example, another woman. We will take an example of another woman. You need to write the name of the title. It should be in bold letters, and name of the author, right? And followed by the characters, all the characters, right? That is the lady, woman, as well as the husband, in-law, followed by the vegetable vendor, right? Theme of the poem: how the women are treated, especially in their in-laws' house, right? So it has to be discussed how the woman has faced the problems in their in-laws' house. That is a theme. You have to mention the theme of the poem. Next, instances of poem. If you take the very first stanza in the exam, he will be giving you the complete poem. So you need not worry. So if you read that poem, you can easily get back the stanza meaning. Just a second. Excellent. So, this morning she bought green meaty in the market, choosing the freshest bunch, picked up a white radish. Right? Then you can add shielding her face from the heat. Up to there, you can consider this as one stanza, and you can write she went to the market. That is the location will be the market, and the theme, what and how she faced the situation. What she has gone through in that particular period of time. And next one is characters. That is the woman, lady, as well as vegetable vendor. As soon as she enters into the house, she was cursed by her in-law. That is as well. That's you need to mention in the characters. Right? In the sequencing of actions, exact meaning. What all happened has to be described. The same has to be followed in stanza 2, following the headings of theme, location, characters, sequencing of actions. If you have got third stanza as well, you can write the overall. And in the end, you can write conclusion. You can describe the poem. You can conclude the complete poem in 5 to 8 lines. This is also very important to write the conclusion for this choreography. Right, children? So you need to follow these steps in order to score good marks. And coming to the minor discourses, we will be discussing through our videos. What we ourselves have planned and making the videos to our group. Right? Thank you, children.